breaking open, stopping the battle, anchoring into new timelines. Hey, you guys, this is Alyssa Rushton with your June 2024 energy update. This energy update is for you, Awakened One. This is for you, you light leader, you light worker, you empaths and sensitives, intuitives. This energy update is for you. So definitely pop a comment. Let me know that you're here. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you. Thank you for being a part of this growing community. And if you always come by for these videos, definitely pop me a comment. It really helps me, it helps the channel, and it helps people know that they're not alone. Now let's talk about this video. How we work these videos is I'm going to talk about the 5 main energies that you are going to be working with for the month of June. And it's a great opportunity right now just to take a deep breath and think of a number between 1 and 5 and just let that number percolate up. And that's the number that you're going to be working with most this month. That's the energetic. So you can pop in the links below to that number directly, but I encourage you to watch this whole video because all of these energies will be present this month, but it's just that number that you just pulled, and maybe you pulled 2 numbers, which I'd love to see what they are, by the way. So pop me a comment below and let me know. I love to share with you. So pop me a comment below and let me know what number you picked, and then definitely listen to that number a couple of times just to get even more activation around it and more insights from your soul, because your soul is always leaving you breadcrumbs. It's always guiding you on the path for more expansion and more growth. And because you are here listening to this video right now, it means that you are on an amazing awakened journey. You are a light worker, you are a light leader, and you are here to help transform this planet. You know, your soul came down here inscripted to be here in physical form on the leading edge of consciousness, helping humanity make this huge pivot. And so before I get into the 5 main energies for this month, I want to set this up by saying, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I have talked about the years 2024 through 2026 being these big, huge years. I call it the sandwich years. It's the meat of the sandwich. You know, there's no more fluffy layer. It's just like the squeezed, dense part of the inner part of the sandwich. And we are in this 2-year packet of time here in our earth time where the most rapid change and transformation will take place. It will be change and transformation beyond, I think, what humanity has seen before in our recent and even our not recent history. And it will require us to have different skills and different ways of coping. And so with that, this month of June sort of kicks this off. You've been seeing this on the global stage for a while now. The dial's sort of been cranking up and cranking up. And I make this analogy in my groups. You know, it used to be maybe back in 2017 where a wave of energy would come and then it would fall and we would have sort of a lull for a while to integrate. And now the waves are coming very rapid pace. They're very crushy waves and they're coming one after the other after the other. And you really need to be a strong swimmer, so to speak, in order to withstand the waves. And so part of this time is about us really resetting the nervous system in order to be able to raise the frequency on who we are and how we react and respond, but also raise the frequency on what our physical body is able to withstand and what our physical body is able to hold. So a lot happening starting in June, and quite frankly, it's been this year, but it's going to start to, they're telling me, gain momentum. It's going to, they're saying momentize itself. So it's going to gain a lot of momentum. And on both sides of the coin, on the harder to feel side and on the miracle side, on the highest timeline side. So we are in a place where we're riding both. And if you can think about a pendulum, how a pendulum swings, and it is going to hit a point where it's hitting this maximum swing state before it starts to lose its energy and come back into neutrality. And so we are in that maximum swing state. We're losing our polarity. So part of what happens as we make the shift from third and fourth density, we are coming up into that fifth density, that fifth, you might call it a dimension. Some people call it a dimension. You might call it a density. We are coming up into this place where we are no longer going to be working the poles as extremely. And so we're, though, having to expel all that polar energy. So this next 2-year cycle is the time when we will expel the most polar energy. Our Earth will also shift a little bit in terms of its placement of where we actually sit right now in conjunction with the sun. So we're changing how we're pointed, which means planetary shifts, which means weather shifts, which means all sorts of things. For us as human beings, it means climate zones opening up. So we'll get into all that, but I did want to set this video up by saying that we are now in the time. We're in this rapid fire ascension pathway where we are being called to be different and do different. We're being called to evolve as humans. And I might also add that we're being called to mature as a society. And coming from a mature place versus where we have come from so many thousands of years in the past, which is a place that's completely disconnected from the heart. So speaking of being disconnected from the heart, let's talk about the first energy. And this energy is stopping the battle. Let me just share something deeply personal with you. And I think that in this share, it'll make so much sense on a personal and a global scale. So in 2022, I got a bug, and my once amazing health that I had worked so hard to gain all went out the window. And in a moment, all of the old symptoms were back. All of the old autoimmune symptoms were back. And I felt like I was fighting for my life again. And on this journey, I then went into, let me battle what's going on inside my body. And let me fight it with diet and supplements and herbs. And let me kill off anything that might be living inside myself that's harming me. Okay. And that was the program. So one day I was sitting around and I was talking to the guides and my angels, and I was just saying, gosh, how can I heal this? What can I do? And they said, you've got to stop the battle. You've got to learn to come at it from love. Don't stop what you're doing when it comes to your nutrition and the supplements that you're taking, but internally, you as humans have to stop fighting one another. And this thing that's happening inside of you, you are currently fighting. You are seeing it as bad, and you're seeing it like ants that you want to destroy and get out of your house. And then they shared that as humans, we also do that with each other, that we see one group of human beings as somebody that we want to destroy because they have something that we want, or they don't have something that we want, or they're different than us in some way. And so they showed me that whether it's human to human, or human to ant, or human to a disease process going on inside of ourselves, the solution is re-knowing it in love and taking whatever it is that we've been battling against and kind of pushing against and saying, no, you're bad. No, you're wrong. I don't want you to be here. And instead holding all of that energy and bringing it all within inside of us and saying, this thing that's happening, you too are love. And I love you. And instead of battling against you, I'm going to ask you, how can we work together? How can you and I work together towards a common goal, which is feeling healthy and happy, feeling vital and alive, and learning as a human being to have the maturity within our hearts to speak to energy, whether it be a disease process inside of us, whether it be ants that are invading our house, whether it be a group of people on the planet. We have to be able to stop the battle. The battle has not worked for us. It never has, and it never will. It never creates a situation that's tenable and that's lasting. It creates more battles. And so this is the number one energy that we are working with in June, and on and on and on, because June also has a very much an energy of revolution and rebellion. It's a revolutionary energy. It's a rebellious energy. And so whatever the battle is in your world, whether it's a disease process, whether it is a kid, maybe you have kids that are just acting badly, or maybe you have a boss or an employee, or maybe it's some neighbors, or maybe it's on the global stage. Whatever it is, we are here to mature our consciousness to a place of not tolerating being attacked, but actually re-knowing something and working with that energy in the energy of love. And here's the thing, it starts from within inside of us. As above, so below. And so if we do not work with that energy first inside of our systems, then we literally cannot expect the planet to reflect to us this non-battling energy. And humans not battling each other, and the earth not having to battle us. It's really about honing that consciousness so that we can understand that we live on a conscious planet. Every single thing that we come in contact with is consciousness itself. And we simply have forgotten that we can work with that consciousness. We can ask it to help us. So if you have a disease process happening inside of you, ask that energy to work with you instead of against you. Ask it, hey, would you be willing to work with me? I see you in love. I remind you that you are divine in physical form, that you are no different than me. We are both divine consciousness, and we can work together. So let's do it. Let's work together. What is it that you need from me to work together with me? And really opening that up in any way that we can within ourselves first, and then allowing that to ripple out. And I promise you, if enough of us are working at that level of individuated frequency, that is what anchors new frequency here on planet Earth. Your DNA are little antenna receptors. They literally are antenna. They receive and they transmit data. So you are like this incredible radio tower who's receiving all this divine information, and then you transmit it out to those around you. And those around you, remember, we are herd animals. They are attuning to us. We all have mirror neurons. We're all attuning to each other's frequencies at all the time. So you get to decide, do you want to be the dominant tuning frequency? And in doing that, you can create a massive ripple change on the planet. I've always talked about this. You're the early popcorn poppers. And when you pop, that allows other people to pop as well. So this first energy, stopping the battle within, is really an internal process that you do, and finding any places and spaces where you have been accidentally waging war on something. Maybe it's against your finances. Maybe it's against a disease process in your body. Maybe it's against your child, who's behaving badly. Maybe it's against your spouse, and stopping that battle, reminding all of the energies that they are divine in physical form, even if they're behaving badly, and that you are here to re-know them and receive them in love and practicing this, and watch the frequency shift in your world and in the outer world as well. The next energy that I was shown for June is breaking open energy. And literally, it's this communication that's breaking open. It's where we learn that there's been a lot more to the story that we haven't been told. It's where I hear covers blown. I hear manipulation. So it's where more of you are realizing and learning that you can look at the dark parts of what happens on planet Earth and allow yourself to see it. You're finally allowing yourself to go there and understand that there is more to the story, and that unfortunately there's a lot of manipulation that's been underlying all of this immaturity as human beings that we have on the planet Earth today. So when things break open and you are able to see behind the scenes and see more of the truth, there's something that you want to make sure that you are doing, which is really grounding into highest possibilities. So it looks like this. If this thing that is true that I just learned about, where we as human beings have been manipulated, and an example of that is in our current TV. Okay, this is an example that everyone can get, where you sit down and you watch TV and it's a lot of fear-based news, and then there's a commercial for a juicy hamburger, and then there's a commercial for a drug that's going to help you overcome the symptoms of what that juicy hamburger did to your body, because it's filled with chemicals, right? So this is a big manipulation cycle, and so we all are aware of that, but there's bigger manipulation cycles and there's bigger stories to break open. So here's the thing is, when you understand more of the truth and you sort of see behind the curtain, there's some work to be done around not getting upset and not getting sucked into a lower frequency and becoming very depressed. Instead, really remaining very empowered and reminding yourself that you live in a universe that's filled with love. You came here to planet Earth at a very hard time. You scripted to be here at one of the most challenging times of all humanity. So congratulate yourself for that. Understand that you scripted to be here as a change maker, as a transformational person, be it through your actions or be it just through your presence. And so remind yourself that, as tough as it may seem, and maybe some of the things that are going on don't seem quite fair, and you can't sort of believe that it's happened, understanding that you are here to see it because you're able to see it and you're here to clear it. And so when you see something scary, or you see something that might be frightening, or you see something that feels like just a deep manipulation, I wanted to share something with you that I have found is very important to me as an energy worker and healer. I see a lot of stuff on the other side that can be frightening, right? Can be mischievous, can be non-positive. And so there's something that I say to myself when I'm working with energies in clients' fields and in the planet itself. And I'm hopeful that you'll find this phrase really supportive. So here it goes. I am divinely guided and protected. These energies are able to be seen by me and felt by me because I am here to re-know them and love, and I am here to transmute them. So that's the thing, is that nothing changes unless we see it and feel it and then re-know it through ourselves and our systems. That's how it changes. It's always in and through the body. The nervous system, your nervous system, your energetic body has to be exposed to something and then alchemize it, transform it, transmute it, clear it in love. So that is the work, and it's not the easy work. I will say that this time on the planet is not the easy. It's not for the faint of heart, but it is for you because you are here and you chose to be here at this time. And there's a very particular frequency that you rode in on that is absolutely helpful for the planet. And if you were not here, the transformation, I don't think would happen. I think the fact that you are here is so helpful to this transformation. And quite frankly, we need more on board. We need more people like you who are going to throw that tipping point. Think about a room full of people that may be angry, and somebody really peaceful comes in and they start radiating this peaceful energy. Well, now think about what happens when in that room full of angry people, what if half of the people all of a sudden went really peaceful? There's this more ease. It's easier to hold the peace. It's easier to hold the love frequency. So the more people we have holding the peace and holding that love frequency, no matter what, the easier it gets for other people to attune to those frequencies. And so right now, this breaking open of energy, I think it's going to feel like a lot. I think you're going to see a lot. I also want to remind you to ground yourself in nature. Nature and this planet has so much healing to offer you, and it helps to ground you back in what's real and true. And this beautiful cycle of nature that has the healing codes in it. This planet's so incredible at rejuvenation and healing and rebirth. And to remind yourself of that daily, to get out in the sunshine, to intake those nutrients from the sun, get those neutrinos coming into your eyes and allowing that to work on your system. Because part of this breaking open is your consciousness breaking open. You're going to have more types of communication than maybe you've had before. You might be breaking open to where you can bilocate, or you're maybe having multi-dimensional experiences. You might be breaking open to where you are meeting aspects of yourself from Lemurian times and Atlantean times and Egyptian times and Lyrian times, and you're all bringing that cosmic wisdom into the now moment because you are being activated to break open to this multi-dimensional aspect of yourself. So there's a couple sides to this breaking open. It's a breaking open of the media, of the underbelly, but there's also this breaking open of your highest self, your multi-dimensional self, your multi-dimensional communication. And isn't that just a beautiful thing that it's all happening all at once? All right, let's talk about energy number 3. This is highest timelines anchored. Okay, so again, with the Gemini theme, we've got both sides of the energy. Right now in present, there is this predominant doomsday energy over here on one side. However, on the other side, we have this highest timelines anchored. So you are seeing both themes of this running at the same time. And let me give you this way to look at it. I like to think about this in terms of time zones because it's easy to understand how we have concurrent time zones. So think about the globe and think about all the different time zones that we have on our planet. And in fact, I live in Hawaii, and then my next door neighbor is Japan, except we're a day apart. Okay, so I'm in the past. So right now I'm recording this video and it's the 29th today, and then it's already the 30th in Japan. So it's literally the next day in Japan, but it's happening all at once. So first of all, there is no such thing as time even here on the planet. Like we live in the past and the future all at once here too. But if you can think about all the time zones happen all at once, I want you to think all the timelines are happening all at once. So right now we have this big doomsday Armageddon thing happening, and a lot of people gabbing about that, they're squawking about that. And a lot of us are squawking about highest timelines. Well, what determines where we go? In quantum physics, it is your consciousness. Your consciousness and what you are focused on determines where the energy output goes. So if you believe that we are headed into an ascension timeline, a highest timeline where there's this golden era, there's peace on earth, that is going to be what you likely experience and go through. And if you've got your attention focused on over here, you're energizing those timelines. So you really want to pay attention to what energy you are energizing. And remember that as our planet aligns more and more and more with the center of the galaxy, we are bringing in new light so that it is easier for those higher timelines to occur. You're being given more frequency to be able to anchor in those higher timelines. Now is a time when you can really tune in and say, what is it that I want to create here? What is it that my soul came to do and be? And what miracles am I looking for? In June, I want to invite you to really tune into that. And almost like your life depended on it, keep focused on it daily. Wake up every morning and focus your attention on that which you want to create versus that which you don't want to have happen in your phone, making sure that in your YouTube feed and in your Instagram feed, you're not constantly what I call, I talk about this to clients, awfulizing or shopping for pain, right? And looking for that in your feeds, instead that you're turning your attention to that which you want to create. You're giving your energy and your focus to those higher timelines. And you can do that simply by just everyday sort of journaling around, what is it that you're wanting to see come through? And are you wanting experiences with those neighbors in our cosmos? Are you wanting to build that healing center? Are you wanting to heal that body? What is it that you're wanting to do? There's a real portal of high frequency energy coming through that you now have better, cleaner, clearer access to, and focusing your energy daily and really tuning into that and setting your intention to just hone in and channel into that is going to be helpful for you. Along with those June energies and the higher timelines, there's also the lower timelines happening. And like I mentioned, it's all happening all at once. So you might be on a really high timeline and your next door neighbor might be on the lowest timeline. They might be having horrible things happening to them. So it's really important to be attentive to this, to be mindful to this, to be potentially a soft spot in somebody's storm. When this happens, I get the sense you who are watching this, you're not going to be impacted. You're going to be safe in all the right places and have the miracle timing, and you're going to sort of feel like, wow, this is incredible. I can't believe all this incredible things are happening. Meanwhile, all of this other really hard stuff is going on the planet. So the spiritual journey of awakening and ascension is about being able to hold it all, not just the light. And if you have seen those memes on Instagram or on YouTube where people are talking about like, well, since I ascended, I can't hang around these folks anymore. Like, I just can't vibe with them. And the truth is, when you raise your frequency, when you are holding more love and peace than ever before, you can be in more situations than ever before. You can hold more of the allness of all that is than ever before. You can be with people that might not be in your frequency bandwidth, and it doesn't impact you. And that's the true spiritual mastery. And so if you find yourself telling yourself, oh, I can't vibrate with those folks, that doesn't resonate, they don't resonate with me. Okay. And true spiritual mastery is being able to resonate with those who don't resonate and be okay with that and hold that unconditional loving space and not be impacted. So that's the work, and that's what we want to be on the lookout for, to not set ourselves as apart from others and to be able to be that place, if it feels safe for you to be that strong spot for somebody. And you're riding that wave of miracles, and you can be that port in the storm. You can be that soft spot. You can be sending energy and love to those who are affected by all the changes happening on the planet, and really holding that higher frequency timeline and giving any sort of assistance and support you can with your empathy, with your ability to hold space and listen, with your ability to just have compassion. That is the work right now, is holding the all of it and knowing and re-seeing it all in love without judgment. And just understanding that we are in this huge transformation that requires a lot of upheaval, a lot of uprooting of energies, a lot of energies leaving off planet right now. Both human and non-human energies are being booted off the planet. And so people at soul level are making choices to, leave and come around back again. And some people are choosing to stay. One other thing that I wanted to mention about this anchoring in higher timelines is many of you are getting downloads about new things that actually haven't never been implemented here on Earth before, or maybe they've been implemented in a higher dimension, or a healing modality, or a way of governance, of sovereign governance, or a monetary exchange system. You might be having a lot of downloads about that. They've never been applied here on Earth. And so remember that life transforming ideas always seem to be really out there. Okay, they're not going to really make a lot of sense because we don't have a framework for it here. And so sometimes these really incredible downloads and ideas that you're getting, you want to discuss them with people. Ask the universe to guide you and show you who you should be talking with if you're getting this kind of download that's going to change the planet and going to help serve the planet. Because now's the time when many of you are being guided to set up new structures for a new way of being on the planet. And you're literally being guided to commence this now so that people have something to step into as the old starts to crumble. And we do have to crumble the old out. I talk about this a lot, that in fact, I just did a video about cymatics for one of my groups. And when we apply a new frequency, the law of science says that the particles have to rearrange themselves to a different shape. So the frequency that comes in on our planet creates the shape of things, the shape of your body, the shape of the earth, the shape of the continents. When we anchor in new frequency, so maybe we took the frequency from 125 and we take the frequency to 400. The shape of the geometric structure that sound frequency is making literally gets changed. It has to change. So what is happening right now is that we're anchoring in more frequency, higher frequency, and that means the shape of things must change. That means the shape of our lives must change. Some of our bodies are changing. We're having so much change and transformation, and it's based in science. It's based in sound frequency. It's based in sacred geometry, because that light comes down that then informs the sound, that then informs the sacred geometry that informs matter. And so right now we're changing what our molecules look like, and all of our bodies are changing. All of our structures are changing. The old guard is falling away. All of these things are kind of moving around, and it feels real funky. It feels like a very liminal space. And like I said, it'll feel very liminal and meaty sandwich 2 years of the time between now and 2026. So speaking of bringing new things online, that's our next energy number 4, opening to the galaxy. More and more people are coming to the understanding that we are not alone on an island in the middle of the universe. We are here surrounded by cosmic brothers and sisters that we have been operating in too much density to be able to see. A great example of this is if you were an ocean bottom dwelling sea creature, you're in too much density to see the top of the ocean. And once you crest the top of the ocean, if you were able as that sea creature to get up to the top of the ocean and pop out for a minute, you would see, oh my gosh, there's all this other life happening outside of my layer of reality. There's all this other stuff that I had no idea was here. It was beyond my atmosphere. The atmosphere of the ocean's quite thick. It's quite dense. It's heavy. We can't, as human beings, stand to go down, I think, past 200 feet. Our bodies start to really not like it. We need a different vehicle to go down. So imagine being this bottom dwelling sea creature, some of these real cool ones that create their own light. And if you came all the way up to the top of the surface, you'd see so much more life than you were used to. And then if you crested the top of the ocean, you'd go, wow, look at this. There's humans and animals and people that things that don't need water to survive in their breathing. They don't have flippers and fins to get around. They're walking. How are they walking? Just like the bottom dwelling sea creature that didn't understand that there was much life outside of its atmosphere, think of yourself in the same way. You are at the bottom of the atmosphere of planet Earth. The atmosphere stops here and it goes up, 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 up until it stops. And outside of that atmosphere is all this other life that we don't even know what is there. And we've been in a frequency and a density to not be able to see it. That is changing because you are raising your frequency. You are rising up out of this third and fourth density layers into the fifth dimension. You are anchoring that frequency each and every day. You anchor it in through the portal of your heart, through unconditional love. And when we do that, that's when we get access to new technologies, new transportation, new ways of being. And the reason why we've got to anchor it in through the heart is because human beings will weaponize all of that stuff if we're not anchored through the heart. So for those of you who are already heart anchored, you're likely already having those galaxy openings. You're likely getting those little nudges to say, hey, go explore your cosmic roots. Go just tune in to a star at night and talk to the star and talk to the energies coming from there and just see what comes through. You're likely getting visitations in your dreams at night from maybe blue Syrian beings or amazing beings that you can't even imagine. And they're coming through to you now because you have opened up the portal of your heart. You're ready and able to receive that frequency. And now's your time to where that it's coming through your dreams at first and those visitations in dream time to get you ready so that when it happens in reality, there's no fear there and you feel very comfortable about it. So get ready for those new openings. Get ready for positive technologies coming through that we can use to heal our bodies, that we can use for transport and energy. Now is a really incredible time for that on planet Earth. And don't be surprised if you get some downloads around some cool technologies that you can use for yourself. And these can be spiritual technologies. These can be spiritual tools that you can use. And one of them we've already talked about, which is just holding the frequency of love for something that you've been battling against and taking whatever it is you've been battling against and wrapping it up in your love and reminding it that it too is divine in physical form and that you're here to remind it of that. That is a spiritual technology. So be prepared to have a lot more spiritual technologies and other cool technologies coming online, but also some amazing visitations and to really see that we're not alone in this galaxy. Now, on the flip side of that, I do want to mention that anything that happens along those lines in fear is there to show you either that there's fear living in your system, or it is being generated from a planetary source. So, for example, they're showing me an image of people thinking there's some sort of aliens coming, and there's a lot of fear around it. And really, it's drones, it's projections in the sky, and there's no fear there, except the fear that's being generated that wants to perpetuate itself, that's here on planet Earth. We as humans like to generate a lot of fear, and that's what we're growing out of. We're growing out of being fear generators. We're growing into being heart-opened galactic beings. And there's still many folks on the planet that are still really into fear and scarcity and drumming up more of that. But it is an energy that's sort of getting the plug pulled on it. All that jerky energy, that fear-based energy, that scarcity-based energy is coming out of the planet right now and is in the death throes. But again, it's that last pendulum swing of that super polarity before it starts to come back to balance. Okay, let's talk about energy number 5. This energy is being the energy of peace and love, no matter what. And I've touched on this a bit already. However, one of the most important things that we can do as human beings to not only grow ourselves, but grow the frequency for human beings on the planet is to hold the frequency of peace and love no matter what. Now, I want to say that this is the hardest work you'll ever do when your child's having a meltdown, or when there's a global crisis happening, or your neighbor's house just got destroyed, or somebody just lost a loved one. Holding the frequency of peace and love, no matter what, is what we're being called to do at this time. It is the energetic maturity that we're being asked and invited into. If we do this, when we do this, we will make that leap into the 5th dimension solidly, but it won't be until we can do that. That is the key requirement. It's the box we have to check before we get to spend all our time in that 5D, 5th density Earth that is more of that peace on Earth, heaven on Earth frequency, where our needs just get met and we can do a little more being and a little less doing, and things just seem to flow, and we get to work at soul level. We learn to educate our children from soul level based on what's positive and good for them, what their soul's here to do, what their astrological, I call it a soul print, is here to do. It's a combination between your astrology, your human design, your gene keys, and really your soul's energy. And we know what that is, and we can see it, and we tap into it, and then we educate our kiddos based on that. So we're literally raising a new human. But in order to get to that, we have to be able to hold the frequency of peace and love no matter what. That's the master class that we signed up for. It's what humanity's been trying to learn all these years, and we're finally ready for the test, right? We're finally ready to write the exam. So here we are writing the exam to hold the frequency of peace and love no matter what. And that is what is happening this month in June. So a lot going on this month. Hold on to your hats, a lot of double-sided energy, but so much goodness to tap into and so much chance to evolve your consciousness. So this month you can also ask yourself, where could I hold more love and peace? You can ask yourself, where have I been shown in the last couple months that I sort of lose my patience and maybe I'm not responding in the way that I'd like to? You can also take a look at this month. Where has my ego been running more of the show, and how much more of that can I set aside and step up into my soul's light and into that unconditional love and new levels of love in my life? You can ask yourself and your guides to show you what sort of star origins you have and give you some more breadcrumbs when it comes to communicating with your galactic friends and ask them to open up your dream time. Ask them to open up that two-way communication. If you're having body issues, ask for healing during the nighttime. Ask for your beautiful Syrian friends to come in and put a blue healing pyramid of light over you while you sleep and work on your physical body and give you all those beautiful upgrades so that you can glow and be vibrant and feel vital and alive. Ask for the rainbow attunement. Just ask for whatever you feel like you want to ask for, and ask that communication be opened up. So those are some of the tips and takeaways for this month. Again, I hope you love this video. Lots going on in June. Stopping the battle, dealing with some hard things, but anchoring in those higher timelines and opening up those new communications and opening up those new portals to being a galactic citizen. It's a very exciting time, and in a rather intense time, but a time that you came here for. This is why you came here, to write those exams and really graduate and help this planet graduate to that next level of light and unconditional love. So pop me a comment below. Definitely share this video with a friend who's going through it. We all need support right now. And I love it when you do share and when you comment, because it helps support me. It helps this channel so much. So I want to thank you in advance. I love you so much. Keep me posted on you, because here is to your beautiful evolution. I love you, and bye for now.